Thank you. The color that's okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. Dude, and I suffered the consequences. That's like yeah, normally, but now it's it's like minus 30.
Let him know.
It's like it was my soul.
Oh yeah. No, I understand. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, where was that? I was like, to give my whole last semester. We are good.
All right. We ready? I call this meeting of the South Pacific Alliance Student Association Senate to order. Let's rise and say I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for that. Mr. VP, please take the roll. Baumeister. Here. Burke. Here. Butcher.
Here.
Kent.
Here.
Clausen. Here. Graham. Here. Halstead. Here. Hill.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Jessen.
Here.
King. Clobber. Here. King. Keel. Here. Myers.
Here.
Salcido. Here. Sattler. Sattler. Schiffauer. Smith.
Here.
Stolman. Peterson. Here. White.
Here.
Wright. Here. Olivet. Here. That was what? I want to say like full house for one.
Oh, let's wait.
Sattler.
He's here. Full house. All right. Well, welcome everybody, and thanks for coming tonight. Being here, I appreciate it. I've sent out the agenda. The only revision that we have is that Boston Lee 26S003, which would have been the approval of the appointment of the ROTC senator. He's actually out of town right now in Reno, Nevada, so he'll be back this coming Wednesday. It's Dominic Dirty. And we have open floor guests, by the way, as well. The Wrestling Club and the Arm Newspaper Club. You all saw Dominic last week. He was sitting over yonder in a suit. We've nominated him to be the next ROTC appointment. You'll see him next week. We had an interview with him last night. Pretty good guy. So we can look forward to that. Besides that, no other adjustments. Do I have a motion? Salcido.
Motion to vote.
Motion to approve.
For approve, yeah.
Okay. Second? Second by Baumeister. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Agenda approved. All right, the minutes got sent out earlier today. We had actually quite a few read them. Any questions, comments, concerns with the minutes? Senator Keel.
It's my duty as Constitution Chair to inform everybody that the minutes should be sent out 72 hours after the last meeting. So that's not being done. Not trying to get anybody's case, but that is our rule.
Yep, thank you for that reminder.
So that'll be Saturday at 5 p.m. after this meeting.
Got it. Thank you for that reminder. We will try to meet that Constitution commitment.
So I'm going to try.
Well, we will make that constitutional. How about that? You bet. Senator Ballmeister.
Point of clarification, is that the first edition or is that final?
That's when the minutes are sent out for us to read.
Senator Gray.
Just some like misspelling, like there's like a how in there instead of a hole. Just some basics.
Okay. Thank you for that. Do I have any motions? Motion approved, seconded by Senator Ballmeister. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Minutes are approved. Thank you for that note, Senator Keel. All right, open floor guests. To start off, we have Hard Rocker Wrestling Club. The floor is yours.
Well, we are Hard Rocker Wrestling, and we are here today to present the formation of our club to you. I'm Nolan Jessen, and I would be taking on the president lead in this club.
I'm Kaylee White. I'll be taking on the vice president role.
Hi, I'm Greg Barth. I'll be taking treasury.
And I'm Matt Zabrowski. I'll be taking secretary.
You can see here that we have our advisors, which is Sam Harkin. She works in student engagement. You'll see her downstairs a lot. And then Robert Sales, our athletic director, which I hope you guys have talked to at least once because he's been in here a couple times. And then
First thing we would like to talk about is just benefits of a wrestling club. The first thing is it helps increase student involvement in minds, activities, and clubs. Helps build a healthy and constructive outlet for students. It supports both true beginners and experienced athletes. And potential representation in club level competitions, which will represent minds as a whole.
So, why do we want to start this club? What's the big deal? You know, is there even a draw for this club? So we sent out a form just to kind of gather some interest among the people that were wanting to sign up. We had 35 responses for the people that have come to the club saying yes, we want to be a part of this. This is something we want to do. You'll look at the data and you'll see that over half are freshmen. Now you're going to say, well, that's not really a balanced club. Why don't you have any of that senior level leadership? And I think a large part of that is a lot of these kids are coming in with previous wrestling experience, having wrestled before, enjoyed the sport, something they want to continue. And then you come to Minds and it's just something that's not really an option for them here. And part of this club is just making that a little bit more accessible to those students. And we know in years past there have been tries to have a wrestling club get going, and just getting that leadership can be a hard thing because you're a student here at Minds, you're an engineering student. I mean, you've just got so much going on, and having that leadership is it's not for everyone. But we're really hoping that this is the year that we can get this going and get it started off on the right foot. And so we would anticipate that we would increase that level, senior level leadership with the formation of this club.
with right here, you can see experience levels. I know that most of us over here have a decent amount of experience and would be willing to help out and teach people that are new, because it's a decent bit of the club that would be new, and of course that's perfectly fine. We want new people. We want people to experience what we love about the sport. Most of the people here are going to be at least like 4 years or more of experience. Like personally, I've had 6 years of wrestling experience, and I know that I just love the sport and would love to be there to help other people learn and enjoy it.
Many people are saying that they either missed wrestling or are wanting to get back into wrestling, and others are wanting to try to get into some new for fun or stay in shape. We've had a few people, even in our friend group, expressing that they had never wrestled and they would just love to wrestle just to be able to be with people that they know and love and try to experience something new that their friends love.
Yeah, something apart, like as a part of this club, we don't want it to just be exclusive to those people that used to wrestle in high school. We want to be open and willing and accepting to those who, maybe heard of wrestling and think it's something cool and they want to try it out. We definitely want to be open to all people.
Yeah, so we're planning on meeting in the King Center, right in the yoga room, right next to the weight room. That's where the MMA club is meeting. I'm also a officer in the MMA club. And that is, with the mat space that we have right now, that is kind of the only place that we can meet. We are in contact with Central High School to see about using some of their spaces and perhaps getting some mats from their facilities for the future.
So planned activities, obviously being a wrestling club, you gotta wrestle. I mean, that's number one. So weekly practices is gonna be a thing. And part of wrestling is gonna be just teaching, teaching those people that are new to the sport or have been out of it for a while, and just really refreshing the memory, because technique can be a lot of it. You can be the biggest and strongest kid on the mat, yet you can still get your butt handed to you. So looking ahead, also a big part of wrestling is strength and conditioning. Something I love about wrestling so much is just the discipline that it builds. And I think in life, discipline is just a really good thing to have, and part of that is strength and conditioning. Looking ahead, as far as things that we can get, ways we can get involved, we're looking at competitions. Not only do we want to be involved and have competitions for our wrestlers to compete in, but we'd also like to be engaged with our community and help out in middle school, elementary school competitions. And that can also be a source of funding for us, because they like to, they'll pay for repping, and so that's a way that we can bring funding into the club too, and also just be engaged with our community, wrestling community here in Rapid City.
Our future goals are getting mats for the club. That's our number one goal, so that people aren't having to travel places. They can just stay here on campus. But mats tend to be very expensive, so that's why it's a future one and not a current one. We want to eventually, once we get well known in the community, start hosting tournaments, maybe for Little League, middle school, and maybe eventually high school, just to get people knowing that mines exist and that we do have things that they might get interested into. And then we do want to get club singlets for that representation for when people go out there and try to compete and stuff, because not only will that bring future students, future students who might have been interested but kind of pulled away because there was nothing sports-wise that they were wanting to get involved with, but that they'll see that we exist in the wrestling world. And then we want to be able to compete at local tournaments too, just so that people know that we're around. And questions?
Senator Bowmeister.
Love the idea of the club, really do. Right now there's a big question on storage here on campus for the current clubs as it is, that we're trying to sort out and figure out. Do you guys already have a space in mind that you guys know you guys would be able to store those mats?
So we do not have mats set up at this current moment, and that's something that we would be looking at in the future. I think first and foremost, it's going to be getting in contact with the high schools here and looking that we can't just wrestle there at the high schools at a time there. Looking ahead, that would definitely be something on our radar though.
Yeah, that was my point, is you guys had mentioned in the future trying to get mats, and so I just wanted to bring up the point of, as of right now, a lot of clubs are saying that they don't have space for what they need or what they want, and so if possibly bringing up if you guys find somewhere that you guys can set up permanent residents that may not be here, I would love for the club to be here. I just don't know where mats would be able to be stored.
Yeah, I think that's going to be just coordinating with our faculty advisor, and also presumably athletic center, so we'd be talking to David Crum too, just to work out those logistics of storage.
Senator Jensen, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as far as competing, I have two questions. Would you guys go to competition and compete?
We would like to be able to have the opportunity for people, but we wouldn't make people do that.
Okay. And then my next kind of question is, obviously, I don't think you're doing this as I don't think the goal is to become part of athletics. But if they were gonna try to say, hey, we want you to be part of athletics, in some scenario, would they require you go to competitions and people go to competitions?
That would be something to talk to David Crum about. That's not we would love that, and that would be awesome. And honestly, that would be perfect. This is really just us getting our foot in the door, showing that there is a serious draw and involvement here at Mines and want for this. And I think looking ahead, that would definitely be an amazing thing.
Awesome, thank you.
Senator Smith.
What are your policies for safety in this club? Do you have any waivers or anything that people need to sign?
So we made sure that we got in our like on the word constitution that there you have to sign a waiver to participate, and then also we would like for our people us to get CPR certified, and also make sure that people are good to if something happens to them that we are able to call the police and stuff when they need it.
I've got 14 years of wrestling experience. I've been in and out of the room a long time. I definitely know what to do when things go wrong, but there's definitely a level of it's not about hurting people. That's not the idea of wrestling. The idea is to be safe and also just teach the sport of wrestling. But definitely number one priority is to be safe while doing it.
Senator Meyer, did you have a comment?
Most of them got answered. I'll say a comment real quick. Just you mentioned leadership experience. I think having a bunch of young people on your team is great. So keep pulling in those young people, and it'll keep your club moving forward.
Okay, I'll go CFO Shock, and then I'll go Senator Wright, and we'll be done.
Yep. My question was, do you guys plan on applying for SOAP to purchase those mats or fundraising? Or?
As far as we're aware, we have missed the SOAP deadline for this coming year. The following year, that will be something that we're going to be looking at. We're not sure exactly what yet. We're going to do our best to really work it out outside of that because we don't want to pull more money than we have to. The biggest part of being, given a club permissions is just so that we can have our name out there, be recognized by the student body, and so that it gives these people a good place to come to. But certainly.
Senator Wright?
That was my question.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for presenting. All right. And next up, we have the Orem Newspaper Club.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving us the time today to discuss the future of the Orem newspaper. I am Jacob Vasquez, the president of the club.
This is the wrong slide. Okay, so we're going to start with introductions. Either way, that's going to be the next slide. So could you go to that, and then we'll just go back when we need to. This is the old set of slides. So he already did his introduction. Is there anything more you want to say?
I am a second-year biology student.
All right. So I'm the vice president. My name is Claire Lynn, and I'm a second-year STS student.
My name is Macy Sager. I am a third-year geology student, and I will be running as treasurer for the club.
I'm Andrew Zay. I'm a second-year computer engineer. I'm running as a secretary. We have one member of our officer group who couldn't make it, our marketing director. She has been MIA, so we have little contact. But
also, our advisor is Christy Tidwell from the Art and Humanities Department.
And Dr. Tidwell has already been the advisor for the former Orem Newspaper Club, so she's got experience with this one. And we can go ahead and go back to that second slide there. So the history of the newspaper is pretty interesting, actually. The Orem was actually founded in 1901, which is only 20 years after the school was founded itself. So that's really cool how old it is. And since that time, it's been reestablished over and over again. Sometimes, the leadership falls out, the newspaper club kind of goes dead, and then people want to bring it back again, and that's where we're standing today. And in that time, it's gone under many different names, including the Orem a couple times, and the Tech, and the Raver. And 2010 was the last time this club was revived, and it was under the name of the Orem, and to put an homage to the original founders, we'd like to use that name as well.
The purpose of the Orem newspaper is to provide an independent media organization on campus that fosters a student voice. We hope to enable our members to be creative and also to enable collaboration between clubs across campus. One of our big focuses is club interconnectedness. We hope to be able to coordinate with other clubs and foster a community where we can foster a community not only in our club but throughout the broader campus with the newspaper to, just to have a positive atmosphere. The goal of the community itself in our club is to foster a engaging and positive environment which enables us to think critically and continue learning about the newspaper process itself.
So most of our club is made of juniors and freshmen and sophomores. We have a couple interests from seniors and one grad student who's interested. So it's mostly the first 3 years you're here that are interested. All of our majors are mostly, we come from every department, so we have the wide variety that is here shown in our club. So.
Awesome. And so for our events and tasks, we have kind of tried to lay out a timeline of what club members, because we have had small meetings, just interest meetings, what to expect, what they could hope for when they join this club. And so we really aimed for weekly meetings. And this is where we'll get to know each other, we'll get to know the writing. In the past, the Orem has published really fun articles. There are some archives, if you ever want to take a look, let us know, of, students teaching each other dinner in a cup recipes. So when you're in your dorm, you can cook something that's not Cervec and not burn the whole place down. So that's kind of something that would be a weekly thing. We get topics going, give people ideas, and have people kind of write mock-up articles that we will then review as officers. Additionally, we will have strictly writing meetings. So we're hoping this actually extends to all of campus. So obviously we're a club and we want people to be official members of our club. But like Jacob mentioned before, we really want to have a welcoming environment. Let's say that one of the sororities just has a great event coming up and they want people to know about it. Maybe they'll come to a writing meeting, get some ideas from us, learn the structure of how to write an article for our paper, and then they write a paper kind of endorsing their club. We really want the weekly writing meetings to be inclusive, not just Orem focused, but have other people. Maybe we'll even print posters for the formula or something. They do win a lot. Additionally, we want to do funding and morale events. So as any club knows, one of the best parts about being in one is doing the fun stuff. So we really want to work on that, and we're hoping to collaborate with the public library, coffee shops downtown, maybe even schools as well, just getting kids excited about writing. And so that's kind of our goal. That would be more of, interpersonal things within the community. The community is something we really also want to incorporate into our club. And then funding. Yes, sorry, Jacob. As you may have noticed, these slides are updated, unfortunately, but luckily, it's all up here. So, our current account from about 10 years ago when this club was active, because it has been inactive for quite some time, there is a dusty $300 in there. And so, we're starting off with the foot in the door, which we really appreciate. Additionally, we did hold one successful fundraiser so far at Pancheros. Everyone knows those are pretty good, solid ways to get money for clubs. So that raised just over $200. So we're sitting at about $500 as a means to print and advertise. So we really do want to physically print our newspaper. I know it's a bit outdated, but we have a lot of ideas. We're trying to kind of talk with Surbeck as well as the library itself to have kind of little pamphlets out. But that comes from the funding we have. So we do probably intend to apply for SOAP. This fiscal year, we can't. I understand that is closed. But we have a starting fund that we really believe can kick us off to get papers printed within this semester. And how are we going to fundraise in the future? Great question. Like I mentioned before, we will do the monthly group raise because it is a very consistent reliable way of money. If any of you are in clubs, you fill out 20 names and you basically get a few $100s. So that's our goal. We also have had some marvelous ideas from members where we want to do bake sales. You know, maybe you buy a cookie and you get a newspaper leaflet with it, or you buy a cup of coffee and you get to chat with us or give us your ideas. Additionally, we do want to reach out and do things with the community. I mentioned before the public library and maybe some coffee shops. We're hoping maybe to get some advertisement placements in our newspaper. Maybe if it's just something downtown like, hey, students get 10% off at Sickies on Tuesdays or something. And we just put that in there, and that could be a way to get funding as well.
Thank you for your time today, and do you have any questions?
All right, so I'll start off because I just can't wait. This is wonderful. I love it. Thank you for presenting. A thought that or sort of a question, but also a thought, food for thought, is have you all considered teaming up with the local newspapers, Rapid City Journal and stuff, on having like maybe a monthly edition of a filler newspaper, 1 or 2 pager, that could be stuck in the Rapid City Journal or some other newspaper within town, so that the community could see what's going on at Mines, right? Because there's a lot of elderly people and other people in the community that get the Rapid City Journal, so maybe a collaboration between them would be a perfect partnership with the city of just updating what's going on at Mines and how the students are doing, stuff like that. I think that might also be a way to really branch out and ground yourself in a deeper sense, so that way it can continue for multiple years on. Lovely presentation.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
I think we all agree with you. And part of the reason I think that is such a great thing, that we've kind of talked about that before as well, is because we are starting off with a little bit of money. So hopefully that gives us the ability to collaborate and print with places like that. So yeah, that is a great question, and that is definitely something we've considered before.
Okay, wonderful. Director Hedley.
Just building on, so a couple things from my perspective, and Dr. Tidwell might know some of that because I feel we were still printing when she was the advisor. There was a partnership. You paid for it, but there was a partnership with the journal. Like they did the printing of the paper on the behalf, so we could probably look through that history, and then as it's approved, then we should probably visit again about space stuff, as we were multi-use now, so we'll just need to think through that. So feel free to come and visit with me about that.
Awesome, thank you.
And then Cedric Gill.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I think I'm Will Keel. So contact you guys. I want to apologize for getting the wrong slideshow up for you.
No, we figured it out. We're good.
And just glad we could kind of get you guys here to present.
Yeah, thank you for the time.
Senator Meyer.
I got 2 kind of questions. Is first, you're thinking about printing. I like that idea. I like having like physical prints and just having them around campus maybe or something. I was just curious, like, what are you going to do with them? Because it's kind of like the posters. Like if they're sitting out and then they're outdated, like it's just like you're going to have people cycling around, picking them up and refreshing them.
Sure, that's a good concern.
Yeah, I think definitely, since this is going to be either weekly or every 2 weeks, depending on what kind of engagement we get, how quickly we can get these out from the members that we do have, since we'll have to personally refresh those, we'll definitely be able to cycle out those old ones. That way we're not having old issues just sitting around being all collecting dust.
Our idea typically, what we've talked about is, you know, in Surbeck when it's got those tiny plastic holders on each table that's like, this is our new flavor in the Crack Shack. That's kind of what our idea was, where we just have a paper we can slip in and people can see it as they go. So.
And then the second part is like, are you going to have a digital format as well?
Yeah, we're definitely considering that. With the way that everyone consumes news these days, I think it would be foolish of us not to have a digital one. Like, we're definitely planning on it once we get more established for sure. But it's so easy to get a domain from Google, we can definitely do that.
Sure.
We think it's very important to have physical copies before having an online presence, because I think the advertising of a physical newspaper is what's going to enable us to actually have online readership. Not having the physical copy before the online one would, ultimately nobody would know about it, likely, I would say. And so we think it's very important to get the physical papers out first.
Director Hedley.
So just a couple things on those lines of people to keep in the back of your mind is when you look at that point, is because it was Sean Lycan, so he's the webmaster for marketing communications. So we had talked about that before, but the previous website just didn't work. So I think as you look at that, maybe there's a place within the new university website that they can find space for you to do that. And then Jillian, who does their social media, even if you're doing paper stuff and you're doing stories, I would still have her in your back pocket of information, because then you're maybe sharing that stuff via social media.
VP Reed, do you have a point?
Yeah, I just want to say this is really exciting. I think it's good to break that mantra that engineering students can't communicate. It's saddening to me that people still think that, like, keeping that in mind. So I think this is a great idea. This is really exciting. Have you guys considered talking to Kara about maybe pushing stuff to alumni as well? I think alumni would be interested in hearing, especially since, you know, the Orem has been on and off, so people will definitely recognize it if they think that.
I think that's a great point, especially since it is such a historical club, despite not being necessarily reliable throughout the years. I do think there is enough people in the area and alumni interested that is something we hope to do. That might not be a #1 priority. I think we do want to focus on the Rapid City Journal and getting a first print out, but eventually in time, yes.
Senator Smith.
Do you have any idea roughly what it would cost you to print? I know you're really early on, so if the answer is no, that's fine. I was just wondering if there was one.
We've reached out, I've reached out to printing across town. The only people that have the ability to print newspapers is Rapid City Journal. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head precisely, but I do remember we looked in some of the old documents, and I believe it's, I'm not entirely sure. But I do know we had a tax exemption, so.
That helps.
All right, who's next here? Let's go Senator Sattler, Wright, Baumeister.
Right here. In terms of digital distribution, you mentioned the website. Are you planning on emailing these? Or?
I think that would be smart.
Okay. And then in terms of emailing, are you planning on just sending to the whole student body or maintaining an email list?
We hope to maintain the email list, especially once we hopefully make those connections with the community, because that also allows people who, maybe your parents, like, what's my child doing? They don't call me nearly enough. What's going on at their school? We can get them on that email list as well, because we're not quite sure about sending physical copies statewide and stuff like that. But yes, we do want an email list for sending out our papers to hopefully broaden the horizon of who can receive them.
All right, that'll be Senator Wright.
Although you may have potentially missed the SOAP application window, if you become a formally recognized club, you can always apply for a supplemental funding request, and you can work with the finance committee on it.
Yes, that is something we know, and we appreciate you bringing that up. Hopefully, we're going to see what this $500 gets us, but thank you for bringing that up.
You got Baumeister?
Yeah. I remember having a CIA meeting with you guys. Love to see that it's kind of come together a little bit more from what it started out as in that meeting. I was going to say, we struggle on Senate to kind of get people to actually open emails or click on links enough as we would like them to. So having a hard copy version, I think, is great, as it piques people's interest a little bit more. It's something that they haven't seen yet, and so it grabs our attention rather than just on one more email that they can just easily just delete.
I agree with you. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have a social media position open, and our hopes for that is to kind of be like those videos where it's like, what's your take on this student policy? You know, to kind of get it known around campus. So that is one way we'd address hopefully people opening our emails or even reading the physical copy. Thank you for bringing that up.
Senator Kuehl, Senator Blair, and then we're done.
I think that the goals of student government and student newspaper are kind of one and the same, really. And I think it'd be very beneficial for us, to, I think it'd be great if you guys, if there was a reporter that came to Senate meetings, right? And quoted us in crazy ways out of context.
That is the plan. We have plans in motion for that exact thing. Do not worry.
I really think it's an important part of our democratic system to have a newspaper to relate to everybody that way.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
great. We've actually had brainstorming meetings where we've talked about who wants to sit in on the student senate, who wants to interview students with writing their thesis papers. We really hope to connect with you guys, with the sororities, with the fraternities, with the camp teams, and with graduate students as well.
Right, and help the student body just to not be so intimidated by all these big things like student senate, what is that? Just humanize all you people.
One thing I would like to mention, I know that y'all have had some ideas around like, capture the flag, or I don't know if y'all are still doing that, but anyways, I think it would be very nice if we knew about those sorts of things and were able to advertise them in some way in the newspaper.
Our student affairs committee is just good. We can get that out of PR, I guess. Both. You can collaborate. And Senator Searson, a quick one.
I was going to say we did meet last semester, and we were planning on if you would allow us to write an article for your newspaper every time you release edition of the PR committee.
We would love you at our meetings.
Let's go Director Headley. I'm sorry, Senator Meyer, you'll be the very last.
Just one last funding thing that you can look at, depending on when your newspaper's coming out. Like different departments, we used to pay to advertise in the paper, right? So it could be the career fair, it could be interviews, it could be programs that we would do. And so if you do it the right way, that it falls there, that could be another way for you to make money through working with departments.
Thank you.
All right, Senator Meyer.
I kind of know how frustrating it is to get everything going and building momentum, and you guys have kind of mentioned several times about how it's kind of died and came back and died and came back. I would encourage you guys to try really, really hard to build up that leadership team and build depth into the club early on, and that'll help you guys out long term to really keep this thing going and making it actually more established. Because I've started plenty of clubs, and I've also rebuilt some clubs, and I know that I would highly recommend that you focus on that early on, get that rebuilt, so that it actually becomes a school thing instead of maybe, oh, that existed 1 year, doesn't exist.
Sure.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. All right, well, thank you all for coming in. All right. Well, we're going to keep this rolling. We're going to move quick, all right? So buckle up, everybody. We have no unfinished business. New business, we have Ofsted Week 26S 001. Hard Rock Wrestling. Take it away, Senator Teal.
Originated by my committee, presented by myself. Whereas adequate interest has been expressed by students wishing to form an organization, Hard Rock Wrestling, and whereas there are currently no organizations with overlapping interest, and whereas a constitution has been constructed and reviewed for said club, and therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of the Student Senate and signature of the Student Association President that the Constitution for Hard Rock Wrestling be allowed formal recognition.
All right, we're seeing you next week, right? Yep. Sounds good, thank you. And the next one?
Whereas adequate interest has been expressed by students wishing to form an organization, the Orem Newspaper Club, and whereas there are currently no organizations with overlapping interest, and whereas a constitution has been constructed and reviewed for such club, therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of the Student Senate and the signature of the Student Association President that the Constitution for the Orem Newspaper Club be allowed formal recognition.
See you this one next week too. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to a time of open discussion. Do I have any points of open discussion from anybody? Senator Sapper?
Did we discuss drafting a bill to change the name of the CIA or just change it?
Changing the name of the
Changing
CIA?
the name, yes.
What do you want it to be called, FBI? Senator Boss?
Approval of name change.
Second. Senator Clausen.
CIA is not an official name. It's just a club meeting. We just call it that here because it gets some laughs, but I can stop saying that if it bothers you.
I prefer SEAL Team 6.
All right.
Cool, because we have 6 meetings. Thank you, Senator Sadler. I do have a point of open discussion. For those of you who have not filled out your ACA hours yet for payroll, get out the computers and fill them out. Corey, we have a tab on that. Who's done it? Who has it? We won't leave it until it's done. Let's do it.
Burnt ants, Graham, for sure.
Burnt?
Yeah, you did it.
Oh,
I only have 4.
You did it? Cats did it? Cats did it. Oh, they already did it.
No, wait. I have to.
Oh, wait a second here. I'm sorry, people, we're getting some false. CIA needs to check.
Kern, Fisher, Gantz, Graham, Jessen, Klaver, Jill, Meyer, Zuckerbauer, and Smith, Stolen, Steverson, Rosted, and White.
If you didn't hear your name called and you're getting paid, fill out the hours. If you did hear your name called, you're okay. The CIA is accounting for you. Okay. Any other points of open discussion? Okay. Hearing none. Moving on to CFO report. We're going to keep it moving.
So SOAP hearings are again not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend, the 31st and the 1st. There was an issue with 2 clubs, the email list that got sent out. I fixed those. If there's any other issues with SOAP scheduling for the hearing times or anything like that, tell them there should be an email. Most of them have been easy fixes. Other than that, end of report.
Any questions for CFO Shock? Senator Meyer.
We had some questions about the exact numbers on the fundraising that we ended up with for the GR. Do we want to talk about that or?
Later. Still sorting it out.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, moving on to VP report.
One thing I'd like to cover is leadership story tonight. So thank you to the people who have helped me and who will be there tonight. Other than that, I don't report.
Any questions for VP Lee? Come out to that if you RSVP'd. Moving on to my report. Let's see, we had a meeting with President Tandy today, went really well. We discussed a all-student town hall that we're trying to mark down the date to host right after midterms. He's looking to present his 5-pillar strategic plan to the university, which is a big deal. It's going to be his first sort of push as president here. And so that's going to be between the 3rd week of March and around that Easter time frame. And that's the 3rd week of March? Yeah. So be expecting that. And then, let's see here. What else did I have to cover? Leadership soiree, come to that. Shed, let's talk a little bit about that. We have that group created. I'll be sending out information here within the next day on what time we're leaving, where to meet, stuff like that. We have 2 15-passenger vans that have been reserved. Right now, I believe we have 20 or 21 that are going to come. We got a big group this year. So it's going to be really fun. Tight buses, hotel rooms are reserved, so it should be really good. With that, I guess that'll be the end of my report. Senator Jessen?
Question for the leadership soiree is that that email went out to clubs, existing clubs. Is that an invite that we could extend to clubs that are possibly looking at,
If you guys can get in business professional by 7 p.m., sure, why not?
We got food, so get into a suit and come spill on your suit. That's what we're doing.
Okay. So let's see. Thank you.
Senator Meyer.
What did you say Dr. Tandy's doing? I didn't quite hear what you said.
Yeah, no worries. We're looking to host a all-student town hall.
No, the other thing.
He's releasing his strategic plan. Strategic plan, he has 5 main pillars like, campus-wide engagement and all the different research, stuff like that. So it'll be a big thing. It'll impact not just current students, but students for the foreseeable future.
Sure.
Right. So we'll have updates on that. Like I said, next week we have department heads coming back in again. Ooh, that'll come up in the essay report. I want to talk about that. Yeah, department heads. Thank you all for last week being engaged with Dr. Laura Rochelle. That was a very interesting meeting. But it was good. Good to get impact and good to get to hear the impact that they're having and to hear his words. Thank you all for being warm to Board of Regent Jeff Partridge. And yeah. Anyway, moving on to special interest senators. Let's start with international.
Yeah, so the new students started enjoying their studies so far. Also, thanks Clyde for coming on Friday and meeting them himself. And ISIM is coming up this Friday too, so whoever wants to come over, and that's about it. Also, the wellness committee met, so I guess we're going to talk about this in that talk session.
Yep. All right, thank you, Senator Yovanovich. Senator Jessen.
That's in the PAC ballroom, or where's the swearing?
PAC
PAC ballroom.
PAC ballroom is currently where we're at. Veteran.
Last week, Clyde and I had a really good talk after the meeting about the Nemo Outhouse races. The timeline is a little short for active Senate participation this year. However, anybody interested, come out, figure out how it's done, and then we have an entire year before next year. The vets are going to have a meeting tomorrow at 1700 in our vet hall underground. If there is any interest at all, I would recommend getting with me. We can get you over there for the meeting, get questions asked. We could, from here on out, have a big presence at Nemo. All it takes is doing something, and that's something that we could do. So, happy to spearhead that. I'm not going to be towing that monster by myself. So, if that's something we want to move forward with, let us know. We can build partnership, since collaboration and the soiree are going to go hand in hand, and that would be an interesting way to kind of frame this. So, falls in your court now. Okay. What else? Works for me.
Any questions for Senator Hill? Underclassmen, are you listening right now? Would any of you be interested next year in the outhouse race? You get to use the outhouse as your race?
Depends on how much you need to during the race.
That'd become quite a heavier load though, right?
No, we lighten it. It's real good.
I guess you're losing all that material, yeah. All right.
Yeah, engineer a hole in the bottom.
Just running out the bottom, okay. So underclassmen, think about that. We're going to bring it up, especially as we get into the spring here. That'll be something to think about. I think it could be real fun, really sort of messy memories, if you want to put it that way.
It is also a fundraising opportunity through the Shriners.
Yep.
So the vets cook food and have drinks for donations, undercut their business and have better drinks or something.
Yeah.
So there is opportunity for getting some dinero out of this.
VP Week.
Are you able to like organize a carpool out there, you think, from this body? Would you be able to do that?
Depends on how many people, but that can be accommodated.
Okay. Remind us again the day and the time.
No idea. That's what the meet tomorrow is going to cover.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. All right. Well, when you find out, let us know, and we'll get everybody on up to Nemo.
Oh yeah, it'll be a good time.
Okay. We'll make sure to take laxatives.
Among other things, yes.
Moving on, we don't have an ROTC report tonight. Graduate report.
Yeah, I got 3 things. First off, I talked to the graduates. I think I have some solution to the parking complaints, which can be discussed outside, but it could potentially bring in more money for facilities. So, I think everyone will be happy with this situation.
Okay.
Secondly, GSS is kind of getting up and running. They are doing an event here soon, bringing a bunch of graduates to a Rush game.
Okay.
They're hoping to do some coffee and donuts like usual, as well as doing some bowling and maybe a brewery tour at some point this semester. Because most of them are old enough for that. And then last one being that apparently there's been a fair amount of cuts in amount for fellowships and assistantships. So people aren't super happy. I think the EECS department has one PhD assistantship. So beyond that, that's kind of how most people in the graduate program actually get paid and actually go to school. So.
Do you have a reason as to why there is a cut in assistantships?
Lack of funding.
Okay.
I can discuss later.
Okay.
Outside of
Yep. I mentioned with the parking thing that we talked about in our executive leadership meeting. Right now, the university cabinet, which I am a member of, with President Tanning and other university leaders, is talking about parking revisions just for the entire parking procedure. And we're taking recommendations. We had our first reading, was that yesterday? Yeah, first reading yesterday. And so put it in writing to me, I guess, what the recommendation would be. And I can present that to the university cabinet where then it will be voted on.
I'll talk to you after this.
Yep.
Let you know what it
That
is.
sounds good. Any questions? Is that the end of the report?
Yeah, end of the report.
Any questions for Senator Bolas? Seeing none, moving on to where am I at? Non-trad report.
Okay, so I have an update on the non-trad email list. So a little history, I tried to get this list back a few years ago with the Marshall Slike administration, and I received a bunch of pushback and eventually just gave up, and that's where we're at now. Institutional Research does not want to give us the email list, and they have asked if Dean Joe could send an email on my behalf. I'm kind of confused about that because I don't know whether they're asking if that's for the election or for the list. And so I'm gonna ask you guys if you have any ideas on how to approach the next step, because I'm unsure and frankly a little frustrated why this is so confidential.
Okay.
Is it, they requested something from you in email?
They
Or was
asked
this
it-
a face-to-face conversation?
No, this is email.
Okay, you
Yeah.
just wanna forward it to me?
Yeah.
And we can work together?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try
That'd be
that.
good.
Who leads that? Sending things?
Who
Who you been contacting?
Diana Eastman.
Okay, so she's registrar.
Yeah.
Similar issue with graduate students, correct?
Yeah, I had a conversation with Diana, and I heard her direct things. She was saying that, of my understanding, if the email was coming directly from you, then they might be more willing, but they're not going to give any amount of list to any student here.
And I think we can coordinate that, and I don't want to speak.
Yeah, we could find a workaround if it's something like every time you, as the non-traditional senator, want to communicate with that list, it has to come to me first and then I approve it.
Okay.
That's totally fine. Second, email is protected under FERPA, that federal law that protects all of your student data. There's a few pieces that aren't in FERPA, like your majors, your hometown, if you're an athlete, your height, that sort of thing, but email is a protected one.
So I can find out everything except the email. Got it.
Almost.
Well, with all that information, I can find out their home address and phone number.
So that's why, they're not trying to be,
Yeah.
trying to be purposely difficult, they're trying to protect that.
I get it.
It's just- we can find a workaround.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that report, Senator Hayes. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Moving on to Constitution Committee.
I don't have anything new to report except that my committee will meet after this week.
Okay. Sounds good. PR Committee.
Okay. We're looking forward to Shed. We should probably get plenty of social media content from that. While we're there, we're kind of thinking of doing some one-on-one interviews with a couple of you who are there. We'll come up with a couple questions, and I'll probably send those out a little bit beforehand so people are not thrown off guard by our questions. Just to film some reels to help the student body know who their senators are.
Yeah.
And then we are currently working on our newsletter for February. For that newsletter, we do need a club highlight. So if any of you are a part of a club that would like to be advertised in our newsletter, we need pictures, meeting time and location, short description, and a social media handle if they have one. End of report.
Got it. Question I had for you, would you be opposed, this is just my brain and its quirkiness, would you be opposed if we got the four heads again, the four founding fathers, took them to Pier and maybe did a little skit up there?
Yes,
Like the
that's too
founding
much.
fathers.
That's too much coordination and travel. You could damage the suits. You know, you'd have to do all this contact. If you want to personally handle all of the suits and make sure they get there, and be very delicate with your handling.
Well, I'll let you know, but I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun, like the founding fathers on the road, you do a little jive in front of the Capitol, maybe, I don't know. See what you're saying, Jim?
Well, I was gonna say, I think that would be a fun idea. I just see that being a really big hassle.
That's true.
But we can probably talk about that.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated, just a person thought. Moving on, GR committee.
Oh, so obviously we got shed coming up really quick here, and I just kind of implore those who are going, just kind of remember what Regent Partridge was talking about, that remember the one thing that you want to talk to them, and just remember those three topics that he was kind of talking about. Thanks for supporting School of Mines, your one topic, and then, shoot, I'm forgetting the third thing. But basically just thank you for supporting us, and yeah, we're looking forward to getting that moving along. And got our new fundraising goal from you, Jake. Got a pretty good plan moving forward. Alfredo's gonna work pretty hard on getting us some fundraising, and I'll submit my time to Anthony. We got some cool things happening on the city level, and he'll give you a report.
All right.
Yeah, so the city council meeting was yesterday, 71st and 3rd Monday of the month, but because of the holiday. I spoke at the city council meeting representing School of Mines, Student Senate. I provided an informational update at the meeting where there were three main topics that we covered, bringing students returning to campus for the spring semester, the TIF open forum, and how that went, and then shed days. I'll let the city council and the mayor know about shed days, that School of Mines students are going, and what the purpose of shed days are as well. And so, let's see here. And then all of my remarks were informational only, no advocacy, no policy position taken, just an update pretty much. The mayor's response, the mayor publicly acknowledged South Dakota Valley Student Senate on record, noting the Student Senate's level of activity, community engagement, and appreciation for the student initiative and representation. After the meeting, the Rapid City Finance Director, Daniel A., he walked up to me and two city council members thanking Student Senate for our services, especially with TIF Open Forum. Which leads to my next topic. I don't know if you guys know, but the TIF vote ended yesterday and the results were out. There are 25 precincts reported. A total of 11,380 ballots were casted out of 50,995 total Rapid City voters. And there were 3,415 yeses and 7,965 noes. So 70% to roughly 30%. Now this doesn't mean that Liberty Land won't necessarily happen. It just means that it won't happen through this exact TIF proposal. Let's see here, voter turnout was 22%. And there's a new hot topic, a controversial topic that was brought up at the city council meeting. A vote passed, a yes vote for city council to start creating an ordinance to allow backyard hens in the Rapid City region. But that's still a long way away from us, and this is a controversial topic. It's been voted no like 6 different times in the last 10 to 20 years. So yeah, that's the end of the report, unless you guys have any questions.
Well, thank you for that. That's a wonderful update. VP Weed.
See, I got Councilman Lehman reached out again, so Jake and I will be getting in touch with him. I'm thinking about doing maybe just a simple tour of campus, show them around the place, all about, what mine's all about. So if any of y'all are interested in maybe helping with that or tagging along and meeting him, I think that'd be dope. But yeah, just reach out to me.
City Councilman Lehman, he's a city councilman here now. Secretary Secret.
Quick question. Was that voter turnout expected, or was it lower or higher than average? I'm just curious. I don't know about voter turnout in Rapid City typically. Or did they say?
22%. I'm not sure what the average is. I can't answer that question. I don't want to assume my line to you.
Senator Keel.
I saw on the news last night that some of the workers at the voting polls said that they'd seen higher turnouts for like presidential elections and things like that, national elections. But in terms of a city event, it was a pretty big turnout.
Okay. Good. All right. Moving on to Student Affairs Committee.
Yeah, so I got the senior report for you guys. So seniors are feeling invigorated for another butt-kicking semester. There is some concern about the level of rigor in some of the ME electives. Dr. Larochelle is being informed of that. There's currently no issues with senior design yet, so that's good so far. Seniors are preparing for their FE. Hopefully those of you in this room are still aware that you guys have resources available for studying and whatnot. Seniors also report that the job market is currently kind of tricky to navigate while they're on their way out. As far as student affairs business goes, CIA or SEAL Team 6 is getting fired back up. The new email should go out tomorrow, hopefully, maybe the next day. I'm just waiting on it. I think it's good to establish a couple firm time slots for folks to actually meet with us. Multiple, because last semester it was kind of like one or two, and it just didn't work out for everyone. So we're hoping for some more engagement and turnout with that. And then, so since no one's mentioned it, I was blown away by the amount of food gathered during MLK Day of Service. That was really cool. If you guys didn't see that, that was really neat. So definitely participate next year because it's a really good program. And then something that was brought up, and this can maybe be a bit of a discussion because I'm not exactly sure, but I heard that professors cannot be, not fired necessarily, but if their teaching is bad and it's reported frequently, but they're a researcher, is there a way to limit their teaching? Is there any way to, I guess, like, hold them accountable to actually teach well?
So I know with faculty, there's like Board of Regents policies. I think there's 3 specific ways that a faculty individual can be terminated. Corey and me, we can be terminated because they don't like the color of our shirt, as staff. But faculty, there's like 3 specific ways. I'm not an expert on what those are. I know one that was super public just a few months back with the USD faculty. It was like the something that happens in their private life causes such significant disruption to the operations of the campus with that USD Facebook post or whatever. But if that's something you want to get a more clear answer from Human Resources, they would be the office who could give you a concrete answer.
I'll have to do that, and maybe give you guys a better report on like how that all works next meeting. And that's all I have for student affairs as of right now, unless you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I had a question. So with these department head meetings that are coming in and presenting to us, do we have, I heard there was maybe a question template or sort of things that were thought through by student affairs that would be good general outlines for questions? Is that something you're working on?
We did a little bit of thinking on it. I have to kind of go through our documents. I think I wrote a little bit of something down. We were just considering like how to actually pass
Senator Halsted?
So we had this was before New Year, we had a draft that was written up. I think that could definitely be looked at while we're, asking the department heads questions. But I think with Larochelle, a lot of those questions were kind of just brought up because of the nature of having the department head go and ask the questions.
Yeah.
Since we do have a broad span of different departments in here with our students, I think that every department attorney has had spoken for with those questions. But I think the template's still a great idea, and we can
Yeah, maybe just upload that to the Teams, like we can put it under current
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
And people can just look at it as they please,
For sure.
if they need the questions started or something. Yeah, no, thank you for that, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, Senator Clausen, for doing that. All right, so moving on, we're gonna steamroll this, we're running out of time here, folks. Roof time, parking. Have you met any more since last meeting? Sounds good. EHS&R, met any more?
Well, we were supposed to meet Tuesday, and she didn't send, Margaret didn't send the minutes out in time, so she thought that she should push the meeting back because we didn't have time to read the minutes. So it's now Friday at 1 o'clock, and I have senior design at that time. So if anybody else wants to go to that meeting, that'd be great.
Clausen?
I think I should be able to make it to it. Yeah, I got that email last minute. So I came to campus, read the email, and okay. So I think I should be able to make that.
All right. I'll be asking for your report on the road when you go to.
It's in the
Sounds good.
North Seaback building.
Yeah,
Or the
it's
south.
same where it was last time, I
Yeah.
assume? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Commencement, I have not reached out to Dr. Herman yet. I will do that, that's on me. We need to get that email out ASAP telling students that December 2026 will be the last fall graduation. That needs to come out a month and a half ago. Housing and dining.
I just sent a meeting request.
Okay.
Friday.
Sent a meeting request. Yeah, Sodexo, that'll be good to look at. An incident over the weekend was brought up to my attention by Senator Salcido, which was good that he brought it up. Just some allergy issues with a student, and so it'll be good to sort of bring some attention to that and just look at different procedures and protocols. Wellness Committee. Senator Jensen.
I have the minutes for it, but it sounds like Alex went
Yeah.
through them.
All right.
Well, from what I gathered, specifically, we're only talking about reaching out to donors and what specific businesses used to donate to the wellness community, and we were just taking out we were writing letters down of appreciation to those businesses and deciding who will go where and give those letters back and talk to them. Maybe they will want to donate again. That's most of the things we were talking about.
Got it, okay. I'm gonna task you and Chase, with reaching out. It keeps slipping my mind and I'm losing my brain. So can you reach out, just one of you send an email, CC the rest of you, reach out to David Crum and Rob Sales. David Crum's the athletic director, Rob Sales is the wellness center director. We still have to address, or I'd like to address that sort of issue of open gym time. There is that discussion on if there's a run-in between open gym time and athletics. And I think that can be sorted out. There's also, what was the other thing discussed earlier? There's another thing Claude discussed earlier. Oh, locker rooms and stuff. There's also a thing that Director Headley talked about where it's just a couple of times, but I'd like to find out more information about it. When opposing teams or when we play games here at campus, sometimes the locker rooms that are designated for the wellness center have been closed off. And so I'd like to find out if that's a reason, or if that's because of space, or if they're just not using the downstairs locker room, or just what that story is. So just those 2 points, if you could just CC y'all, send it, and then report on it when you have a meeting with it. Okay?
Yeah, I'll take care of that just for both of you guys.
Okay.
Because I've met with Director Crown multiple times
Thank you,
before.
Senator Stone. Moving on to survey ad hoc. Not yet. Okay. Campus beautification. Anything?
Nothing new, we haven't met yet, so.
Okay. I will connect you, Ivan, and you, Parker, with the contact I've been talking about that, remember that mural that we talked about in the stairwell? There's a number that he gave me. I'm not impressed by the number. Well, it's probably a reasonable number, but I'm still not impressed. So I'm going to task you all with looking at different options with that more, and also placement of it. With the new Survec expansion almost being done here in June, it might be better placed in a different spot. I will task you with that and with the context that I have so far. All right? Athletics, anything?
Staff meeting tonight, otherwise I'll have a better report for you all next week.
Wonderful. And then IVL, I'm going to get, what was his name? You wrote it down. We got it somewhere. I'm going to bring in Dan Ewert. He's starting in a couple weeks. He's leading IVL. Larry Simonson And we have another person, Moha.
Yeah, Dr. Bond.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Gonna come in,
Yeah.
gonna come in and we can connect you with the IBL people. That's gonna be part of the, I think it's gonna be part of that strategic plan moving forward with President Tammy, so that'll be good to hop on that train. Upcoming Senate business, we have the leadership soiree at 7 o'clock. Nolan, if you wanna be there, get in your tidy whities and the suit and tie, and we'll see you there. Do I have any other points of announcements? Dean Joe.
Yeah, Nemo Outhouse Race, Saturday, February 28th.
That's plenty of
So
time.
that's their date for it. I think they usually start at 10, but don't.
It's put on by the small town. It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're worried about parking, get there early. Otherwise, you'll be walking about half a mile.
Gotcha. All right, good to know. Do I have any motions? Senator Severson. Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn, seconded by Senator Jessen. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Objection. Adjourn.
One person.